It's Saturday, October 26th. It's about 7:30, and the deer's starting to move, but I'm down on Jared and I's farm. It's about 30 degrees this morning. We've got a light east wind, and Jake and I snuck in here and hung this set, blowing our wind back over the river. It's one of my favorite spots on the farm. It's a really nice funnel area. This is where I encountered merino a couple years ago, and we're about 80 yards from where I shot Gronk. And our primary targets are going to be merino and Todd Gurley. We've had pictures of them coming in and out of this area over the last week or so. We've already had a doe come by. I expect the movement to start picking up here pretty soon as the deer filter back from the ag fields. Straight to the gaps, those trees. That's where I lost them a second ago. There were 3 or 4 does in that group that buck was messing with. Did you see the buck? You could just see like body and rack like flashing through gaps. I couldn't tell which one it was. Get a good one. It's a little after 10:30, and we're going to start packing up here. The first 30 minutes after sunrise, we had some pretty good action, but most of it was on the edge of the wetland as opposed to through the timber right here. There's a slough along the edge of the timber, and then the river's right here, so a lot of the deer work through here, similar to what you guys saw with Jared's hunt yesterday morning. He was just on the other side of this little timber strip. It really works well typically to funnel the deer, but this morning they came in, a couple bucks were chasing the does around, so there was 2 groups of 4 does, and I think there was 3 different bucks, and they were running all around. They ended up kind of skirting the edge of the timber and getting back into the cover. I don't think we got much good footage of them. I think one of them was, or the biggest one was the same 4-year-old buck that Jared filmed yesterday. And then the rest of the morning was pretty quiet. We saw 2 does across the river on the sandbar, and we had a little buck swim the river and come by us. And that all happened by 8:30. And then nothing until about 10, and we had a doe and 2 fawns come in under us. So it was pretty slow most of the morning outside of that real early action. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be doing this afternoon, but we're going to get down and check the forecast and come up with a game plan and get back in a tree here after a couple hours.
Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cuddyback, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, and Realtree.
The afternoon of Saturday, October 26th. It's about 4 o'clock, and Jake and I are set up for the hunt. We're on Jared and I's farm still. We hunted just right inside the timber here on this little funnel this morning and had a decent hunt. A lot of early movement and slow the rest of the morning, but we've moved out to the wetland area, and we have this turnip plot tucked up against the corner of the timber. We've got this scrape tree right out in front of us. We've had pictures of Todd Gurley here in daylight, and we've also had this buck we call Bob that Jake or Grant is going to shoot if he comes in. Marino has been about 100 yards away in the afternoon. I think it was the 14th or 17th. The neighbor is combining all of his beans right here. You can hear the combine going. And I think he'll be combining right up till dark, but he finished getting his corn out a few days ago, and they're going to get all the beans out here pretty soon. So I imagine all the deer are going to be heading out there to eat. Hopefully they'll hold up here and stage for a minute. They're just hanging out in those willows. It'd be awesome to see a rack swiveling around in the willows. We're down to our last hour here. It's been drizzling a little bit on and off. The wind is straightening up like we wanted to, blowing more northerly. We had 2 does come out of the willows into our bean plot there about 4:30, and we haven't seen any other deer. I think they just shut the combine off, so it's cooling down nicely, and hopefully the deer activity picks up here pretty soon. His eyes are black. That's pretty cool. That guy's still visible right there.
Yeah, I can still got him.
He's a good looking deer.
Looks awesome.
Oh, don't do that. They're all gonna walk down with us. Yeah. That was a cool encounter. That 10 point is on just about every camera, and I think it's the third time we see him. I think Jared might have gotten some footage of him when he was out of this tree a couple days ago, but he walked right at the base of the tree, and I think our wind kind of went over him, and our ground set must not have been too bad because he barely hesitated, and he's just heading out to those beans they're cutting. And then we had a little 1-year-old walk up from downwind, which they don't normally come from back there, but of course, you know, they come from everywhere. This whole area is a bedding area, but that 10 point's got very distinctive black, really black eyes. The rings around his eyes are black, and very, very distinctive look. I was a little on the fence whether he was 3 or 4, but after seeing him in person, I think he's a 4-year-old. Nice looking deer. He's pretty. He's got really nice. I just looked at a picture of him. I bet there's a deer crossing the road in that course, honking out. I wouldn't be surprised. They're coming out from across the road into the... Right. Dude, that's God, right? I think he just went down. How did it look on there? Real good. It looked real good. Dude. It was hard for me to tell. I'm pretty sure that's the curve. He had the curve in his beams. I'm second guessing myself a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that was the big old deer anyway. That was awesome. So, we're sitting here in the tree, and I was just telling Jake that I could hear some thrashing down the corner at the edge of the plot. Sounds like a buck raking a tree, and then we could hear him walking. And it's crazy that none of these deer are coming in the food plot. They're all walking in the timber. And he was coming right downwind of us. I was able to stop him at 27 yards. And looked like I pummeled him. It looked like I made a great shot. It sounded like he went down over here, so pretty exciting. It's awesome. He's down for sure. Yeah, it sounded like he crashed. We just got back to the tree, ran back to the truck. I had my computer, so we looked at the footage. Shot looks great. It's definitely Todd Gurley. I questioned it at first when I first got him in the binos. My brain said Todd Gurley because he's got those long beams that kind of curl. But I got those laser force Nikon binos, and when I accidentally hit the rangefinder button, so the red light lit up and I couldn't see him anymore. And we had about 3 seconds before he was going to get downwind. So anyway, kind of made it funny and interesting. But the shot looks great. We think we heard him crash, and like I said, we just got back to the tree, so we're going to take a look at the arrow and track him up. Hit his offside shoulder or leg bone, and he wheeled around, and about 5 yards into it, he broke it off. Yeah. There's some right here. know he's dead just right up the way here. Here we go. All right, blood right here. Blood right here, here, here. He starts to wheel. That's him right there. There he is, guys. We did hear him crash. Let's go take a look. There's some good blood. He's laying there posing for us. Look at that beast. Look at that guy. Yeah. That guy.
Look at the beams on that dude.
I know. Dude. And the mass, bro. Look at the mass on him.
That is killer.
Big split brows. He's got a little forked G4, forked G2. He's got a little flyer starting back here off that G2 back there. You saw that? I don't think I'd ever noticed that in the pictures.
Blocky head. His 3 on his left side's got a little ticket coming off it too.
Oh yeah. The mat, that right there, that's just crazy. You gotta love those big, mature, heavy. Sweet. October 26th. Well, this is Todd Gurley. What a beast of a buck. The mass is unbelievable. I never did appreciate it in the trail camera pictures. He's been on the farm since we bought it. Last year he was a really nice looking 4-year-old. Jared had a few encounters with him. And then this year he made a really nice jump, threw out a bunch of character points, and packed on some mass. Got great long beams, and he was our target buck this year, one of the couple target bucks we have on this farm. Tonight started off kind of slow with this overcast, pressure dropping northeast wind, and the activity really picked up the last 30 minutes. We had that really nice 4-year-old come in, the black-eyed 10, and then a couple other younger bucks, and there wasn't really any deer using the food plot. And right as we were getting ready to start packing up, we only had about 10 minutes left. I could hear some thrashing down the other end of the food plot just inside the timber. And I told Jake I thought it was a buck, you know, raking a tree. And then we could hear footsteps approaching, and there's a lot of thick oak trees right along the edge of the food plot, so you can't see the deer approaching very well. And 30 yards, I get him in the binos, and my muscle memory, so to speak, and my initial reflex was that it was him, so got the bow up and was getting ready. I tried to range him. I tried to confirm that, see these split brows, but I felt pretty confident and made the shot, made a great shot on him. He only ran about, I don't know, 75, 80 yards and piled up. We heard him crash. Easy track job, and just a beast of a buck. I've got a couple more tags in my pocket. I've got my urban buck tag and another archery tag, so I've got some more targets. I'm gonna keep after that Sherman buck, and there's a couple other bucks on my other farm, so I'm gonna be getting down to my Van Buren farm maybe tomorrow and pull cards over there and see if that big buck with all the kickers is out there. I'm really excited to see how the next few weeks shape up.